Okay, today I'm going to be doing a review of the small, silent, powerful build, and it turned out really nice. You can't hear it unless you put your ear up to it. It does, of course, all the CPU processes very fast because of the 980X and the 12 gigabytes of memory. Graphically, I'll be posting some benchmark results at the end. And to be honest with you, I was pretty surprised it did graphical. I mean, he will be able to play games with this, so I think he's going to be happy with it overall. Again, the main focus was being silent, so it's definitely that.
Now the outside of the case is pretty bare, but that is what he desired. I do have one sticker down there that says powered by Seasonic on the front of the case. There's a good look at that. I have the Core i7 sticker there. Let's go ahead and open it up. Up there I have the card reader installed, and it works really well. You stick whatever card you want in there and that green light will turn red and it'll pull information off of it. There's the filters that can be cleaned. I actually put both Noctua 120mm fans in both of those slots. There's the Asus Blu-ray drive, and I put the Republic of Gamers case badge right there. And then the other side of the case is pretty much plain, but the gunmetal gray looks really nice. It's sort of reflective. Okay, now for the inside. This is actually my second take on this video. I'd done the video inside the house and I thought I was done. Well, when I went to edit the video, I realized you couldn't see a darn thing. It was too dark in my house, especially because this case is dark on the inside of it, and so that's what the problem was. So now we're actually outside. So let me go ahead and show you the build. First of all, you'll notice that it's very clean looking. I mean, there's a couple little wires here and there because, again, it is a small case, so it's hard to hide all the wires. But I believe I did a good job, and the buyer is going to be very happy. Okay, first thing is I have the Rampage 3 Extreme Genie motherboard, and so far using it has been a pleasure, just like the Rampage 3 Extreme, the full ATX board. I have 12 gigabytes of the Muskin memory, which goes in there perfectly. Here's the H50. The H50 is going to be perfect for this build. The H50 is quiet. It is a great air cooler, and I actually got it set up to where it will suck cool air in from the back, and then you'll have hot air here. This 200mm fan up top allows it to pull the hot air outside the case. Here is the gigabyte, the HD5750, and through testing, I'm very surprised. It scores almost 10K on Vantage performance settings, so he is going to be able to play games with this. This is actually a very good card. It also survived 5 minutes of fur mark, which, if it does that, it'll survive any games, I'm sure, for a long time to come. So I'm very pleased with this graphics card. If any of you all are looking for a pretty good graphics card that is a 100% silent solution, this is the way to go. Okay, looking at the case, there's two hard drive caddies that go in here. I knew I was going to remove the bottom one for this Noctua fan. This fan allows the 5750 to stay cool. I have it on 100%. It'll blow on this card all the time 100% because the game, or the graphics card, is going to have a lot of heat. Up here, I originally had the caddy inside the case, but I decided to remove it because having the 12 gigabytes of memory, the 6 sticks in there, it was getting pretty hot. So I wanted to have some air going over the memory modules for long-term stability. But what I did is I used the connection on the motherboard for it, so the motherboard will make the RPMs on the fan slow during low load or no load situations, and it will increase the speed of it when he's doing something intensive. And so this you can't hardly ever hear. I did the same thing with the fan for the H50. I hooked it up to the CPU connector right there, and that will do the same thing. If he's not doing much on the computer, it'll slow down, it'll be nearly quiet, and then if he does decide to do some photo rendering or something that taxes the CPU, it'll speed up to keep the CPU cool. So I'm very pleased with the way I set up the fans. The Noctua fans are nearly silent, and they actually flow pretty good, about 100 CFM when they're fully loaded to 12 volts. If you look at the bottom, what I decided to do on the bottom is SSDs. One of the best things about SSDs is that they're light, so you could stick them anywhere. So the buyer in Hong Kong told me that most of his storage is on a network drive. He hardly keeps anything on the computer itself, so he didn't care if there's a lot of storage in this computer or not. And right now he has the 128 gigabyte SSD, and that's all he needs just for the OS. He's going to put Linux on it, as a matter of fact. So this is going to be perfect. He doesn't need the extra storage. Now if he does decide in the future he wants to add a hard drive, he needs to take the top fan out and install the caddy up top. I would leave this how it is. I would never remove the bottom fan due to the graphics card. Now what I've done for this down here, if you look at it, I've actually Velcroed that on there, and because SSDs are so light I can get away with that. I mean, it's very sturdy, it's not going to move, and this almost makes it kind of like a hot swappable. He could take the cover off, take these two out, and these will pretty much stay here, and then he will be able to remove that SSD easily in order to put it in another computer or whatever he desires. And it actually looks good too. You know, you pull the cover off and boom, here's your SSD. So I think that's really well. Now down on the bottom here, I did have to hide some wires down there because again, this is a small case. But I believe it worked out. As you can see, it's very, I have all the wires tied up here. I tell you what, this is a wonderful case. I need to get one. So let's go around to the back. Here's the back. Let me go ahead and take the cover off of it. Okay, and here's the back. I have all the wires tied up here. Everything's stable. And even though there's not a lot of room back here like the 800D has a little spot to put all your wires for your motherboard. Well, there's not a lot of room here, but it's not this case's fault. The 800D, that was really revolutionary, and so this was built before the 800D was. But there's enough room, and with me tying them up, you can put this cover on without any bulging. It slides right on, see? So there shouldn't be any problem with that. Let me go ahead and get a little close-up of the case in some of the crevices. There's the SSD. There is the gigabyte card, which is really nice. Everything tied up. And those two front fans have nothing in their way to cool the graphics card and the memory. And that H50 fits perfectly in there. And you can see up there, that fan will remove all the heat from this computer and do it silently. So this is an overview of the small, silent, powerful build, and I'll probably be shipping it here pretty soon to my client that's in Hong Kong. I think it'll be great. Okay, I want to end this video and show you how well the airflow is set up in this computer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run for a mark, and we will watch the temperature of the GPU climb, and as it climbs, it'll steady off. And what I will do is I will remove the side panel on the case, and you actually see the temperatures climb. So what that tells me is with the side panel on the case, it actually has better airflow than keeping the side panel off. So that means the Noctua is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, and the 200mm thing is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. So let's go ahead and look at this here. This is our trusty fur mark. Go ahead and start it. And the computer does approximately 15 frames per second. Let's go ahead and watch the temperature down there start climbing. So we are at 54C right now. It's been running for approximately 30 seconds.
Okay, so now it's been running for approximately 2 minutes, and you can see the graph, how it's heating up evenly. Now what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull off the side panel to the computer. Now watch the graph. Okay, it is now off. See how the angle of the graph has changed? Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, it's actually made a step change higher. Now I'll go ahead and put the side panel back on. Okay, the side panel's back on, and so it should end up leveling out again. And see how the curve is smoothed off? So again, this case is meant to have the panel closed because you get very good airflow with it closed. So thank you very much. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe.